Anthony Johnson is live in Weehawken and has been all morning long. Anthony.
Well, yeah, those checkpoints actually went up this morning at 6 o'clock, and at that point in time, there was some confusion about exactly what was going on here. What we did, we moved up here to Kennedy Boulevard because Lincoln Tunnel had definitely improved dramatically this morning, but this is where the traffic is being kicked up to. This is where the Port Authority police are actually telling people if you don't have 3 people in a vehicle, you have to move up here. So some of these cars, these motorists were actually trying to go through the Lincoln Tunnel, but they were told they had to come in this direction to go toward the George Washington Bridge. That's why you see a lot of traffic. And traffic this morning was certainly at a standstill on many of the major highways heading in toward the Lincoln Tunnel. 495 we're talking about. That was a mess, maybe 2 hours trying to even get up to the Lincoln Tunnel. Then a lot of those people were frustrated when they found out they couldn't get in because they only had 1 or 2 people inside of those vehicles. There was, even with the taxi cab drivers, some problems this morning because at first the taxi cab drivers were told they could not get in. Many of them are New York City taxi cab drivers. They were trying to get to work inside of the city. They were told they could not come into the city by the Port Authority police. Now, the Port Authority said to us that they were not responsible for that. This was the mayor of New York's plan, and they followed only the orders of the mayor of New York. But about 2.5 hours, 3 hours after they started with the HOV restrictions, they did allow taxi cab drivers to go into New York. But for several hours this morning, for those taxi cab drivers, there was a lot of confusion.
We are not allowed to take passengers from here to New York. I mean, and even we don't know where we can find passengers to get inside the tunnel that we're talking about.
Pick up people for free. That's what they're saying.
Where we can find it? If we find people, we pick up for free. But we don't find any people right here.
And once again, just about 9 o'clock this morning, around 8:30, the word went out that taxi cab drivers were exempt from the HOV restrictions, so they were able to go ahead and go into the Lincoln Tunnel to get over to New York City. But earlier today, Ken, you were talking about the fact that it looks like even taxi cabs were light in New York City, not as many as you would normally see in the city. That should improve as the afternoon goes on because those taxi cab drivers are now on the job. That is the latest live. Anthony Johnson, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.